Hello, welcome to Watan Al Karama News Channel. It is 9 p.m. our time for top stories, and we start with latest developments in Libya. The Presidential Council of the National Unity Government issued a decision to form a unity government according to a UN-backed plan to resolve the political crisis in the country. The cabinet has 32 ministers, including Al-Mahdi Ibrahim Al-Barghati as a defense minister, Abdel Salam Al-Junaidi as justice minister, Al-Arif Al-Khouja as the interim minister, while the foreign ministry has been assigned to Marwan Abu Cyril, and the finance minister is Tahir Sarkis. Some parliament members of Tobruk issued a statement in which they expressed their displeasure about what is happening and going on outside the country, especially in Tunisia. These members stressed in their 5-point statement that the dialogue parties who signed the political agreement don't have the legitimacy of the signatures, and the constitutional amendments have not been authorized in accordance with the force extension of the amendments, and that the constitutional amendment and the authorization of the National Unity Government requires a majority of 2/3 of parliament members, while authorizing of a unity government requires 120 votes. Finally, the statement stressed that the postponement for 2 days, which was granted by UN envoy, is a null decision, so the formation of this unity government is also null according to the statement. Parliament member Ali At-Tekbali said that it is expected that the Parliament will hold a session next Monday for authorizing the cabinet of the Unity National Government. He stressed that the suspension of the membership of the members of the Presidential Council, Ali Al-Ghutrani and Omar Al-Aswad, will make the government as a one-side party, which makes the scene very complex and impedes the vote on the new cabinet by Parliament. البليدى municipality mayor Ali Hussein stressed that the interim government headed by Abdullah Al-Thani evacuated its headquarters in Al-Baidah city at the request of the municipalities. Al-Baidah mayor accused the Thani government of laziness for its role in improving the situation in different living sectors in Al-Baidah city. Hussein denied that there is a link between municipalities' decision to expel the interim government and the formation of the National Unity Government. He also denied municipal demand for each of the constituent authority for drafting of the constitution or the central bank to leave the city, stressing that the legitimacy of the municipal council are derived from Al-Baidah people. Egyptian Foreign Ministry welcomed the formation of a national unity government in Libya, describing it as an important step on the path of implementation of a Sekhirat agreement. The spokesman for the Foreign Minister, Ahmed Abu Zaid, stressed that Egypt is looking forward to authorization of government by parliament members in accordance with procedures set out in political agreement, calling on all Libyan parties to continue to build the national consensus and put aside their differences and exert efforts to combat terrorism and restore stability and peace in Libya. Two soldiers were martyred and one wounded by the explosion of a mine in Al-Lethi district in Benghazi. A medical source of Al-Jala hospital stressed that the hospital received the bodies of Ahmed Al-Darsi and Muftah Al-Firjani, and another person was wounded as a result of a landmine explosion in a house in the center of Mihwar Al-Lethi, in addition to other wounded people of units supporting the armed forces in Benghazi. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received 20 Egyptian workers who had been held in Al-Jufra city. During a meeting with workers in the presidential lounge at Cairo International Airport, al-Sisi hailed the efforts exerted by the Libyan authorities to release the workers who have been detained for 2 days by gunmen in Zilla area. 4 people were killed and several others injured when a suicide car bomb exploded outside the home of the director of the security for southern Yemeni port city of Aden. Eyewitnesses and medics said 4 gunmen killed were guards for Brigadier General Shalal Ali Ashaya, who survived a car bomb attack on his convoy on January 4 amid an escalating wave of assassinations against security forces in the city. People who had gathered at the scene tried to put out the fires by pouring water over the blazing vehicles with small plastic bottles as the emergency vehicles arrived. Yemen descended into a civil war last month when the Houthis forced Hadi to flee to Saudi Arabia after they closed in on Aden during a Saudi-led coalition into the Yemen conflict. Alliance and anti-Houthi forces seized Aden from Houthis over the summer but have yet to impose control on the city, where militants and other gunmen have prominent presence. The United States and its allies staged a number of strikes against the terrorist Daesh militant group in Iraq, the Iraqi Minister of Defense said today. A statement released by the ministry said that the international coalition hit and destroyed a bank used by terrorist Daesh group in Mosul, understood to have held a large but unspecified amount of money. Coalition planes also targeted the hideouts of militants, killing a number of fighters and their commanders, the statement added. A weapons cache in Mosul was also destroyed, the minister said. The ministry also distributed footage which it said showed coalition airstrikes in Mosul. The ministry didn't say when the strikes were staged, but a statement by a news agency that supports a terrorist Daesh group said that coalition planes hit and destroyed a Rafidin bank in Mosul after midnight, inflicting huge damage to the building and nearby shops. And now to Syria. Russia's Air Force carried out 157 stories in Syria over the past 4 days, hitting 579 terrorist targets, a Russian Defense Ministry official said today. In the last 4 days, the Russian Air Force has performed 157 stories against 579 terrorist infrastructure targets in the Syrian Arab Republic, in the province of Aleppo, Deir ez-Zor, Homs, Hama, Riqa, and Latakia. Defense Ministry spokesman Igor Kanishov said. In the province of Latakia, a Su-34 bomber killed around 20 militants in a direct hit on 4 terrorist Daesh vehicles mounted with heavy machine guns. He added, he said the bomber's strikes in total had killed more than 60 militants. Video released by the Defense Ministry today showed airstrikes hitting targets in Deir ez-Zor and Idlib provinces, said to include an oil facility, a militant stronghold, and heavy military vehicles. And finally, from Turkey, Turkish police fired water cannon and tear gas to disperse scores of protesters demonstrating against security operations and curfews in the southeastern province of Diyarbakir. Hundreds of soldiers, thousands of insurgents, and estimated 170 civilians have died since Turkey's 3-decade-long conflict with militants from the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party, PKK, started up again last year. Turkey resumed strikes on the autonomy-seeking PKK after a 2.5-year ceasefire collapsed in July, and the southeast is seeing the worst violence in the 2 decades. The PKK took up arms against the state in 1984. More than 40,000 people, mainly Kurds, have died. Security sources also said a Turkish police officer and a soldier were killed by sniper fire, and 2 Kurdish militants were shot dead in separate incidents in Diyarbakir. 2 police officers were also wounded by shrapnel from a homemade explosive during operations in the district of Sir in Diyarbakir. My audience, that is the wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website www.watanelkarama.tv. Thanks very much for being with us. My greeting, رانيا البليدى.